Today is International Children's Day. The nonprofit group Save the Children is releasing a new report that underlines the stark challenges and dangers facing kids around the world. The End of Childhood Index evaluates countries by several life-changing events that disrupt childhood. They include food insecurity, infant mortality, violence, teen pregnancy, and lack of education. Among the findings, the United States ranks 36th out of 172 countries, far down the list of industrialized nations. Jill Biden is the former Second Lady of the United States and board chair for Save the Children. Carolyn Miles is the organization's president and CEO. They are here for an interview you'll see only on CBS This Morning. Welcome to both of you.
Good morning to see you.
Thanks. Thank you for putting this report together. And let me start with you, Dr. Biden. The report notes that the threats to children are across the board, regardless of income level or geography. What's the threat?
Well, the threat is there are several childhood enders, and we put together a report that points out these 8 childhood enders. And by the way, it's a global report and tells what's happening to children all over the world. And then we looked at the United States, and we used 5 of those enders and ranked our states, and so the United States globally became 36.
Carolyn, I'm so surprised by, and I shouldn't be, by where you were born.
Yes.
It affects the kind of childhood you will have, including your health, your longevity, and how the kind of life you live.
That's right. And that's why for Save the Children this is so important, because the kind of childhood that you have today is going to determine the kind of world that we have in 15 years. And so looking at those enders of childhood, which again, the disparities are all across the board in terms of things like violence against children, child marriage, teen pregnancy. Those are things that affect children all over the world. And what we have to do is actually go after those kids who are most losing out on childhood and bring them to the front of the line. That's what we're doing.
We're a superpower. Why is the United States so low on the list?
Yeah. I think the U.S., we have made progress in things like high school graduation rates and teen pregnancy, but if you look at the rest of the world, we haven't made the progress that everybody else has made. We've got to invest more.
Yeah. What do you by beyond money, what would you do?
Yeah.
Beyond money, I think we would get everyone involved. I mean, we would get parents involved and corporations involved and NGOs involved, and I think everybody has a stake in improving on this problem. And we've got to start working on it.
Talking about the next generation.
Yeah, talking about the next generation.
And just the phrase childhood ender gives me a little bit of a chill. What is the most common childhood ender? I think it's such a chilling phrase. Yeah.
The most common?
Well, I think lack of education is a huge piece, because if you look actually at these childhood enders, so we look at things like early marriage, and early marriage is important in that it ends a girl's childhood, but it also ends her education, which means that her future is going to be completely different, right? Child labor is another issue, but education is a key piece of that.
You've done so much with education, I know, certainly in your service, and the report found that 750,000 U.S. students drop out of school each year.
Yeah, and we made progress on that. I mean, we did increase the dropout rate, or lowered the dropout rate and increased the graduation rate. And we did invest a lot in teachers and in community colleges, but really there's just so much more that we need to do.
Why are they dropping out, Jill? Were you able to figure that out?
Well, I think a lot of it is problems at home. I think drug use is a big one. We've just got to do better. We've just got to do better in mentoring these kids through high schools.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time on early education as well, because getting kids that first start and making sure that they're reading well, everything depends on reading.
And that's the key. The early education is the key.
I like how, Carolyn, you make the point, though, that this is our future.
That's right.
Investing in our children is investing in our future. And one of those things is that 28 million children around the world are displaced, living in refugee camps. I know, Dr. Biden, you just got back from
Jordan.
From Jordan.
Yes.
Jordan.
Then they have little or no access to education or food or water. Where will these
were refugee camps you went to.
Yes, that's right.
Where will they end up as adults?
Well, within the refugee camps, that's one of the things that SAVE is working. I mean, everywhere I've gone to see refugee camps, SAVE has been there, which is one of the reasons why I was so honored to be asked to be chair of SAVE. And so we're setting up education for those children, because without it, they can't get jobs. I mean, it's really crucial.
If there is a decline in support for government programs, certainly here in the United States, who's going to pick up the slack?
Well, I think, like I said before, we all have a stake in this, and we've all got to work.
That ought to be a call to action.
And we're going to do it.
Yeah,
and we're doing it today.
Wait, before you go, because they're wrapping us up, are you aware that Joe Biden has launched a political action committee, which leads some people to believe that he may be thinking about running in 2020, that he hasn't made up his mind?
You know, Joe is not going away, and you know that, all of you. I mean, he loves politics. He loves what he's doing, and he said he would stay involved. And so he set up this PAC because he's going to be involved in the midterm elections.
And his devotion to moonshot is deep. And
yes, absolutely. We're going to keep working on our cancer moonshot, because we've got to give hope to those families who are suffering with loved ones with cancer.
Thank you so much for coming this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.